Hello, good evening. Am I on? I guess. Let's wait a moment and see. Hey, hello Mariella. Yes, you're on. Wonderful. Hello everyone. Welcome to this English Live on Bridges of Light International. Thank you for being here with me this hour. Thank you that you're watching this whenever it is that you're watching it. Thank you, Bridges of Light International, and thank you, Live. Today we are going to be talking about what happens when spirit and mind collaborate. And as always, your comments, your questions are more than welcome. And I'll tell you why I chose this subject, why I wanted to talk about this, and also why I chose the word spirit and not soul. Well, I chose this subject because I would like us to consider today, hello Annalisa, these two reality that are operative, so to speak, at the same time, always. The realm of the spirit, and I use the word, hello Anna, the word spirit because by spirit I mean everything. I mean life itself. You could regard it to be, let's say, God, the all of it, and not just our soul, because our soul, I regard it as being a localized expression. Hey, hello Evelyn, how are you? A localized expression of the spirit, meaning of the big, infinite, universal soul. And whenever we regard ourselves to be part of the all, I feel we are much more powerful than when we regard ourselves as being more powerful than if we identify just with our soul, okay? And our mind, it's extremely powerful in our life because we can manifest everything and anything in our life according to our thoughts, our emotion. In other words, according to how we perceive life. So with our mind, we create what we manifest. So in spirit, life itself, it's so, looking for the word, respectful of us, you see, that would not impose anything upon us. So what our mind believes our truth, that will be true for us, even if for somebody else could be something completely, totally untrue. And by the way, Evelyn, whenever, if you feel you want to pop in and bless us with your presence, you're welcome to do it anytime. This is a question for you guys. What is for you, how would you define spirit, and how would you define, or give me an example when in your life you have realized, you have seen what happens when your mind and spirit collaborate, meaning they do resonate. And while you think of an experience and you write it down, I'm going to share you very briefly how I experienced it in my life and how I feel that we could live acknowledging and focusing more on either of this reality, meaning the spiritual reality, the spirit, acknowledging spirit, but not really focusing or acknowledging how we're using our mind. Or vice versa, some of us may be really working and focusing on their mind, and not really focusing on their spirit. But my invitation is for us to consider these two realities, how powerful they both are, and how we can acknowledge them and embrace them and work in unison with either of them. And when we do that, we truly step into our own magnificent power. And I bet how Evelyn would say, we live then effortlessly, literally effortlessly. And by the way, if you truly want to know how to use your mind to resonate in resonance with spirit, if you haven't done it yet, I strongly advise you to get Evelyn book, Effortless. It's literally, the title is the description of how you will be able to live your life, really. And I'll tell you why, because Evelyn, she's walking the talk. That's how she's living her life in an effortless way. You have a call before, so you can be my guru. Okie dokie. Then, okay, thank you, Evelyn. But yes, okay, let's analyze the two things, spirit and mind. Most of the people nowadays still, they don't really acknowledge spirit. They just think, and I probably still nowadays, I would say 75%, but maybe even more. But I don't want to exaggerate and say 95% of the people of the planet. But I would dare to say yes, even 90% of the people of the planet, on the planet, they acknowledge their intellect, okay? They may have realized that they can more or less create their own reality, but they ignore the deep truth that they are a soul and they're part of spirit, okay? That there's all spiritual identity. And Mariella, spirit is life in the biggest acception, yes. We all part of it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's why I wanted to call it spirit and not just soul. So many people nowadays, they know more or less that whatever they believe and whatever they want to achieve in life, they can literally put their mind to it and achieve it. And yes, nothing wrong with it. But sometimes if we only acknowledge our mind, if we only acknowledge what we believe and what we can individually do to manifest the life we want, it can be a life of struggle, right? So to acknowledge and embrace and invite in our life the power of spirit, the power of pure consciousness, this invisible force that is always with us, it is allowing us to get into the true mystery of living, meaning things will happen in our life, we would manifest things even without thinking about them, so to speak. It's almost as if everything becomes magical, even just by us opening ourselves to the possibility that life can be magical, because there is this spiritual force that knows even more than our mind knows. I'll give you an example. This is what happens to me. After 12 years of living a very unhealthy life, after 12 years of taking lots of drugs, at the age of 32, I literally opened myself up because of an encounter I had, of the possibility of being a spiritual being, okay? I opened myself up to the possibility that there was what we call spirit, that there was an energy, that it was invisible. And because I wanted to change, I literally, and I mean literally, I remember as if it was yesterday, I looked up and I went, okay, if there's someone out there, help me out. I want to change. And I knew that my mind, that myself, was not able to overcome the challenges that I was facing. I knew that he didn't have the power to stop taking drugs. But I literally surrendered. I literally surrendered to something greater than me. I knew that I couldn't do it, and I went, okay, Dad, help me out. I cannot put into words how much my life changed. And I'm talking first and foremost about my inner life. I tapped into, I reconnected, I don't know how to express. I felt something that I had never been aware of before. I literally realized that I was a spiritual being, and I could feel a power that transcended anything that I had felt before. And this energy, this power, was so powerful that I literally didn't have the need of the desire of taking drugs anymore. Hello, Chiara, ciao. Didn't have the desire of taking drugs anymore because I was feeling so good that for me that was enough. But I didn't know what was happening to me. And that's when I started my search. That was 2002. That's when I started reading books, attended seminars, I studied metaphysics, I studied psychology, and now I understand what's happening. And you know, it was only not too long ago when I stopped telling me that, because okay, after I realized that I was more than just my mind, that I was a spiritual being, and I surrendered to this power, then my life shifted. I stopped taking drugs, and I could actually literally see that there was a direct link between my thoughts, my emotion, and the life I was living. And for a long time, I used to tell myself, and my mentality was still dualistic, which is not anymore. I used to tell myself, okay, well, either my mind, and when I say my mind, now I say our mind is so powerful that it's just enough to change my mentality, change my beliefs about myself, others, and life, and my whole experience changes. So we are extremely powerful individually. Or, I used to say, or there is a reality which is unseen and it's spiritual. So there is something that we cannot see, but it's very real, that I wasn't aware of, that can truly help us to live happily and joyfully. Okay? Now I tell myself, it's both. It's both. One does not exclude the other. In other words, our mind is extremely powerful, and at the same time, there is a reality, an unseen reality, so to speak, a spiritual reality that can truly sustain us. And what does this spiritual reality does in practical terms, like everything, I haven't said it yet today, but I say it's just my opinion, it's almost act as fuel, is the potent energy fuel behind our mind, our thinking. Before I opened myself to the possibility of being a spiritual being, in fact, when I was thinking or wanting something, it was it was a struggle for my thoughts and my desire to manifest. After I realized that I am a spiritual being and I am connected to spirit itself, the time between me thinking something or desiring something and manifesting it, but I want you guys to tell me what is your experience about it, it's much shorter. Does it make sense? It's almost as if my mind dynamics are the same, so to speak. Even before, I wanted something or didn't want something. But now it's as if I am supercharged with energy that allow me to manifest in a very, very, very fast manner. Okay? But now I want to read what you wrote, because I want this to be live and not just me talking to you. And then I tell you what I mean by literally literally to be in a state of collaboration between the mind and the spirit. And I truly believe that ultimately we could even let go of the mind and let the spirit drive the show. And when we get to the point, and I bet you all have experienced this already, they say, even before you ask, it shall be given to you. And that's when it really is magic. Has it ever happened to you that you haven't even dreamt of something that happened, an experience that you had, and you think, wow, and my mind could not even have conceived of something so wonderful. So who engineered this wonderful experience, if not spirit? Because our mind sometimes cannot conceive logically what appears in our life. But the true magic is that spirit, this potent spiritual energy, will show itself in our life to the degree that we are willing and able to see it and to recognize it. That's all we have to do. But we have to really open up to it and know that it's real. That's what I did. But I did it out of desperation. But you can do it out of inspiration, which is just as powerful, even better actually. Does it make sense? Because normally our life shifts drastically because of two polarity. Either out of desperation we let go, or out of inspiration. Okay? So out of inspiration we can say, yes, show yourself to me. Show me how wonderful life can be. And it will show. But we have to do that. You see, it's important, because people that they think this is all a bunch of bullshit. Well, they'll never experience it, because spirit is so respectful. They say, okay, you don't believe I exist. I'm not going to show myself to you. I'm not going to push myself on you. Does that make sense? Or some people think, yeah, but a little bit, not too much joy is not good. Okay, then I'll give you as much as you want. But if we truly go, come on, how much magnificent my life can be, then the fun gets going. Anyway, Evelyn says, I have so much magic this day from several people and myself. I feel that energy still surging through me from 5 a.m. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Evelyn. Yes, and I feel like saying, well, that energy, it's, what is it? It's spiritual energy, isn't it? It's pure joy. It's the essence of who you are. That's the fuel that I'm talking to. Ciao, Chiara. Natasha says, I think I'm close to my spirit when I go alone for trekking. I become a part of nature and forgot my usual life. I feel myself as an animal and I am happy and full. Thank you so much, Natasha, for reminding us and me now to point out something which I think is fundamental, and it's something I was actually talking to somebody I had lunch with. It's my opinion. You say, Natasha, you say that you feel that you're close to your spirit when you're alone in nature. And yes, nature it's organic, it's real. It's I don't think there's anything more divine than nature. Okay, and you feel like an animal. Well, you know what, guys? The more I meditate and reflect, the more I study, the more I work on myself, the more I work on people, and the more, you know what I realize? That we are first and foremost animals. And I am proud and happy to say that. I feel that animals are actually the expression of divinity. And the reason why I'd like to stress this, and I want to thank you, Natasha, for reminding me of this, is because I think culturally, some people consciously, but lots of us, even unconsciously, we got this message, which I don't think is accurate. And the message goes, oh, animals are lesser than us. They're less human being. They're like almost demonic. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's an animal instinct. It's something bad. Do you know what I mean? Or we say, oh, he or I behaved like an animal, like if something bad. And I am thinking, well, I think if we could, there's a lot to learn from animals. You see, animals do not get angry or nasty. They don't think nastily of people or wish bad on other human beings or other living beings unless they are threatened in the here and now. And then it's only because of survival that they may become aggressive. You see? But we do, human beings, we are the only one that we can be aggressive, that we are frustrated, even if nothing is actually threatening us. Do you see what I mean? And I think if we behave in a very unnatural and not in line with spiritual and natural laws. Do I make any sense? So yes, but this is just to say that I think if we were all more willing and able and capable of embracing the animal in us, the more we would probably be connected to spirit. Yes, but even classical psychology, it knows that. You know Freud. All theories of Freud, I know somebody would be thinking he was a bit of a pervert because everything was about sex for him. But no, he was a genius. In a way, because he understood that the most powerful energy that human being has in himself, is sexual power. That's where everything comes from. Love, it's union, and sex, it's about union, it's about life energy and creation, okay? Now, we have created a society where this very potent, the most potent energy that we have is suppressed, is demonized. It's considered to be a taboo. And so, of course, this energy, if repressed, does not allow us to fully express who we are and to connect with spirits. Do I make sense? So that's also, I'm generalizing, of course, but that's one big difference between, for example, us, that we live frustrated often, and animals. Animals, they haven't got sexual taboos. They express who they are all the time. But humans, animal humans, I would say no. And because we do not acknowledge the true powerful energy that we have, with the true intimacy with ourselves and with others that we could have. And, you know, I talk about sex, but sex is just the raw energy. But because we don't feel it as we could be feeling it, that has a repercussion with all other kind of intimate relations, even just an emotional relation with other people. Okay? But anyway, let me read. I don't want to go too deep into this if you think I'm not interested in it. Mariana says, mind and spirit together. I always dreamed to realize a project of life, a new job, a new business. I am able to realize it. It becomes reality. Face to my energies, my forces, without any kind of compromise, without bad operations. Yes, if I understood properly, you mean whatever you want in life, you have been able to materialize it because you knew what you wanted and you didn't compromise and you were connected to the energy of spirit. Yes, and that's how we manifest. effortlessly. Heavening is writing. For sure, I believe we just hand it over because all is delivered in universal time and delivered in ways we will never expect. It is effortless. Yes, it is effortless. Exactly. All we need to do is to be open to it, to whatever arrives, and to go with the flow. Although but Evelyn, tell me or add anything to it if you feel. But something is our responsibility, I would say, and our birthright. To be peaceful at least, and joyful and happy. In other words, if there's anything that we can truly do to live an effortless life and to connect with spirit, because spirit is vibrating in a very, very high frequency. So our job, if there is something that we have to do, is to be in a high vibratory state, which means to be emotionally at least peaceful, but I would say even passionate about whatever we do and excited. When we can love what we do and do what we love, we are at a good place. And how do we do that? And this is when the mind, let's get to the nitty-gritty of it. This is when the mind collaborates with spirit. If we train the mind, and believe me, we can, by a conscious choice, we set the mind to always look for something pleasurable, for something we like and we are grateful for. Some of you may be saying, rightly so, but the situation I'm in now, there's nothing I can be happy for. And I would say, well, think again. If really you can't see anything that you can appreciate, then ask yourself this question. What is it that I could be learning from this situation? What is the hidden gift? Ask yourself, I cannot wait to see what's good is coming out of this. This is how powerful our mind is. And if we ask those questions, and I tell you because every time, and it works all the time for me, whenever I'm in a situation where I can't see anything positive, when I really truly think, oh shit, I'm feeling terrible about this, then I remember to ask myself the question, to use my mind to be in harmony with spirit, the spiritual realm is where the solution is already there. But I have to resonate with the solution. So I have to ask myself, what is the hidden gift? What is they haven't seen yet? And that will allow us to change position, so to speak, to change perspective, to consider a side of the situation that we hadn't considered before. For example, I lost a job. At first, I might be thinking, oh my gosh, what a tragedy. I'm not earning any money, blah, 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 negative stories. And then I ask myself, what is the hidden gift? What could be positive in this? And my mind is so clever, starts looking for something positive. So I may then realize, well, I have more time for myself. I can realize what I truly want to do in life. I have more time for my family and so on and so forth. And my emotional state is enhancing itself. My vibratory level is increasing. And there you go. I'm then getting in resonance with spirit. And whatever I haven't even dreamt of, which was already there, will appear. Thank you, Evelyn, for reminding us of that. I really feel it's a powerful time now. Thank you for reminding us of that. Yet now is all there is. Everything else, it's a story. Before, even just 2 minutes before, it's gone. It's a concept. And most of the time, it's not even a memory. We don't record things as on a recording tape. It's banana. We reconstruct everything. So it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. 5 minutes later as well, it's a projection, it's an imagination, it doesn't exist. Now, and it's not a coincidence that it's called the eternal moment of now. It's all there is. When we truly, let's do it now, let's just reflect on this, but let's meditate, so to speak. Now is all there is. So I invite you to always do this, but until then it becomes almost automatic. Ask yourself often, as often as you can, or check in with yourself and see, how do I feel now? How am I feeling? Okay. And if you're not feeling good, that's fine. Accept it. Okay, now I'm not feeling good. And see if you can see how and what. And then make a decision to get something out of the state, of to shift your emotional state, but not by ignoring what is there, but that by finding a resolution maybe to the situation if you can, or the relationship, or do whatever you can, in other words, to better your emotional state, to enhance your emotional state between yourself and everybody around you. And when you have seen that you can change your state because you made a conscious, intentional choice of doing it, there you have it. There you are, well on the way of becoming a master. Do I make any sense? And then when you can do that once, you can do that all the time. Easier said than done, I know. Easier said than done, but possible. Hey, Wendy. Great. Thank you for writing. I'm glad you're here. Wendy says, totally makes sense, Luca. We are animals. The animals are the cleanest and clearest in connection with the divine. Just how I feel it. Yeah, I totally feel that, Wendy. You know, really, I think if we could, there's so much to learn from animals. And we are animals. I mean, look at when we were kids and little kids. Let's look at them. They are little animals. That's why they're so beautiful, because they're pure and innocent. And I mean, there's nothing more loving than an animal, really. An animal, I mean, but you know, it's just, I don't even need to remind you how beautiful and loving an animal is. But I'll tell you more, even for you, Chiara, yes, natural spirit, but even kids, realize this, you know, a child, you know how much suffering a child can endure from adults? A lot. And he will do it out of what is called blind love. You know? In other words, lots of kids, but even you think, you that you're watching this, I'm sure that if you can remember when you were a kid and when you suffer, when things happen to you in your family, and you just didn't even, now maybe you realize, oh my gosh, that was terrible. But when you were a kid, you didn't learn how to judge yet, as we do it now. And you were really the victim, so to speak, of what was happening to you, but still you were loving your parents. You were loving your parents. Because kids, we are animals. And it's only then that we learn, and we become critical about what has happened and what has not happened. But we are driven to unconditionally love everything and everybody, just like animals, I believe. It's only when we use our mind in a judgmental, negative way that we disconnect with the ability to love unconditionally. Then we can regain any time, though. I was loving all that chat. Not one bit boring. I don't know which chat you're referring to, Evelyn. Remind me. Mariela says, the most powerful energies I have on my own, but I use the smallest percentage of them. Face to a limited self-estimate. I'll read it again because I'm not sure I understood what you mean, Mariela. The most powerful energies I have on my own, but I use the smallest percentage of them. Face to a limited self-estimate. Okay, let me see if I understood it right. Are you saying that you don't use much energy on your own, of your own energy? But is it because you are using the spiritual energy, spiritual power that we were referring to before? Ciao, Carla. Evelyn says, we make it about we and not about me. Through love, passion, and joy, me becomes we. Thank you, yes. Oneness. ego is removed and spirit shines. Thank you so much for reminding us of that. Yes, we become truly powerful, absolutely, yes. And life becomes truly effortless. And the struggle goes when we disidentify with just me, our mind, our ego, and when we become exactly we. When we realize and acknowledge who we truly are, which is spirit. And spirit is everything. When we acknowledge that we are part of spirits, we acknowledge that we are one with everything and with everyone. We then acquire a truly mystical and holistic view of life. We realize that we are everything. You see, I always say it, and I don't say it just because I like saying it. I am looking at myself. I am talking to a part of me, to myself. You are watching an extension of you. You're watching at yourself. Everything that is outside, it's the reflection, the manifestation, the representation of our inner consciousness. So we co-create our own reality. I create my reality, and I co-create reality with you. And I truly believe that the more people are aware of spirit, in other words, aware of who they truly are, the more powerful we become, and the more we may truly get, and I'm sure we can get there, to what is called heaven on earth, you know, as above, so below. Absolutely, why not? But nowadays, not enough people believe it is possible. Why do I believe it's possible? Because I know in my own experience what is hell is and what heaven is. I've been in hell until the age of 32. I mean, it wasn't completely a terrible hell, but it was terrible enough to know that I was suffering. I had negative thoughts, negative emotions, and these negative thoughts and emotions, they were resonating and manifesting people I would argue with, people that they would steal my stereo car, they would steal my wallet, I would have car accident, and so on and so forth. Did I consciously want these things to happen? No. But I can see now the correlation between my thoughts and my emotions and these happenings. Was I aware of spirit? Not at all. If somebody told me before 2002 what I'm telling you now, I would have probably laughed. But now I can see that let's say I call it heaven because it's a very enjoyable place I am in now in my life. It's created by what? By my complete different mentality. I use my mind in collaboration with what? With spirit, with this realm that is who we truly are. Okay, so at any given moment in time, let's ask ourselves, because that's the magic of life. We are human beings, okay? So we are having this human experience, but we are also pure spirit. So who do we identify with the most? And some people would say, ooh, I am a human being. I'm more human than, I know I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, but now I'm human. I'm more human. That's fine. But you know what? The invitation is, and this is what all the people that they really lived on earth as if they were in heaven, they have done. Let's try and truly identify, and let's go right deep to the core of the matter. Let's try and identify with who we truly are, meaning with spirit. And you know what happens when we do that? It's that everything gets put into context. In other words, the challenges that humanly we are going through now, if we identify with being an eternal spiritual being, I mean, it happens from me anyway. I'm not saying that it would be the same experience from you, but check it out. Everything gets put into context. It's almost as if, because for me, it's as if this lifetime, which seems everything so big and so difficult, gets put into an infinite context when this life becomes like a dot in infinity. And instantly, literally, I can feel my body going, it's almost like a release. Does it make sense? Like what it was big tragedy before is like, oh, do I make sense? So, but that's the magic of light. Who do we believe we are? Do I believe to be Luca here now that has to be doing this and this and the other? Or am I an infinite spiritual being that now is having this temporary experience, which, hey, it's not the end of the world. Nothing is always honky-dory and I am not always perfect. So what? Does it make sense? If I fuck up now, I will have again and again and again infinite possibility. And that allows me to be at ease, and chances are that I won't fuck up because I'm relaxed. Anyway, Natasha, what is the hidden gift? I love these thoughts, Luca. Thank you. Yes. Well, what is your hidden gift? I don't know what is your hidden gift, Natasha. When I say what is the hidden gift, I'm not meaning there is one absolute hidden gift. I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say I had an argument. I had an argument with someone, okay? And I'm feeling angry, right? And I'm not liking the way I feel. I feel angry and maybe I'm judgmental towards the situation. I'm telling myself, oh, I shouldn't have had that argument, or that person is nasty, or whatever it is, okay? When I realize that, when I can step out of it and gain awareness of what is going on, I tell myself, oh, okay, I cannot wait to see what's good is coming out of this situation. What is the hidden gift? So, meaning I set my mind on the lookout for seeing what is, let's say, the lesson or the gift, meaning in this situation, like, what can I get out from this argument, right? What is it that I can learn? And I can assure you, Natasha, it's very powerful, because this is how we transmute energy. This is alchemy at its highest form. It's when you turn literally something into gold, when you turn something that was negative into a positive. In a situation like in an argument, after I say that, I could then realize, oh, the gift could be to understand that it is my negative judgment towards what has happened that created my emotions. Or I could understand maybe that that situation, that person, maybe it's not a person that I really can trust, or vice versa. Do I make any sense? Basically, I ask myself, why this has happened? What is a different interpretation to the one I'm giving now that is making me suffer? Do I make any sense? Hey, ciao Pamela. Hello, great seeing you here. Evelyn says sexual energy chat. Yes. But how is it, Evelyn, that every time we are together, we end up talking about sex? Because sex is at the base of everything. Synergistic energy exchange. We are sex. Life is a relationship, and a relationship is an energy exchange. And sex literally means synergistic energy exchange. We are having sex all the time. Anyway. Hello, Ekaterina. Thank you. Necessary and useful information. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Mariella says, we may have our mind in our heart's place and our heart in our mind's place. Why? Because we don't have to lose any good emotion. We have to live without regrets. It's better an emotion lived today instead of a possibility of happiness lost. Thank you so much for this reminder. I totally agree, Mariella. Absolutely. And on my place, what? Yes, yes, yes. A fulfilling life, it's a life fully lived, fully expressed. Repression is the source of illness. It's the source of unhappiness. So I truly believe, like you say, like you write, I think that's what you meant. When we have a pure intention and our mind, our thinking is towards that heart desire and intention, when let's just go for it. Does it make sense? Let's just go for it. Not everybody may like what we do, because like we know, people are used to judge what other people do. So we cannot be everybody's best friend, but hey, so what? But if we know that in our mind, we would like to do something, and in our heart and our spirit as well, the intention is pure, and in that case, in which case I would say that's when the mind and the spirit collaborate. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. And you know what? If there's one thing that can truly impede, oh, my English pronunciation sometimes is not good. The only thing that can obstaculate, yes, that can obstaculate our evolutionary process, I believe it's the repression of how we feel or what we think. Meaning not to express something that we feel or not do something that we desire of doing. When we don't judge ourselves and we express how we think and how we feel, you know what happened? It doesn't mean that we are not going to make mistakes. Oh, no, no, no. It means probably we are going to make even more mistakes than when we are careful about what we say, what we do. But even while we make mistakes, we evolve, we grow, we gain in strength and in energy. Okay? Yes, some people may judge us more than if we are really careful and restrained, but we are going to evolve at a much faster rate. We are going to know ourselves better and deeper and faster, because can I tell you a big secret? Don't repress yourself. People that they repress yourself, you know what they do? They repress it until they can't do it anymore, and then they either explode like bombs, or they understand that repressing is not the way, and they have lost so much time, and then they go into making mistakes just as much as if they realized, you know what, I'm gonna make mistake anyway. But everything gets more powerful, and the evolutionary process is accelerated when we allow ourselves even to make mistakes. And why do I say that with conviction? I'll tell you something, that this is the first time probably that I shared this publicly. This is literally my own theory. Do you know why? I think I did lots of drugs, and yes, I was addicted to drugs. But you know what helped me very much to get out from drugs also so quickly? It's this choosing not to refrain myself and to literally, I know it sounds mad, but it's the truth, thinking this may be bad, but I want to do it, and I do it. In other words, if whatever you want to do it, do not judge it, because anyway, even if you judge it, you will do it. Maybe not as much as you would like it, in little bits, but you will do it. Whatever you want to do it full-heartedly. Even if it's something that harms you, it won't harm you as much. In other words, for example, the person that smokes, for example, or that takes drugs, whenever, if he or she thinks, oh, I shouldn't be smoking this, I shouldn't be taking drugs, that cigarette or that drugs is harming them so much, potentially more than if you do like I did. I know, that's why I wouldn't say publicly, but you know what? I love smoking. Give me a cigarette. I love it. I want drugs, and I would enjoy my drugs 100%. I'm not saying it's good for you. Of course, no, physically, but it's not harming you, not even as much as if you do it thinking, oh, I shouldn't be doing, I shouldn't be doing. Do I make sense? Is this being on the fence, not doing things full-heartedly, that it's really a big problem in our life? It's not even what we do. Okay, but I know I can tell you this because you know that where I'm coming from. Because if I told these people that are still locked into judgment, they would say, oh no, don't even mention those things. But I'm here to tell it how it is, and I believe really, cut the bullshit. We are at a time in our evolution that I think everything can be understood, and there's no need to treat each other as if we are not able to understand the truth or take the truth. And I don't think we have so much time to waste anymore. You know what I mean? To sidestep what needs to be told. Look at the world we are living in. I really truly wouldn't want us to be apparently where mythologically we've been before, where we reached so much a high level of technology that we self-destructed. We could do the same now, guys. We are on the verge of either really making a quantum leap and realizing who we truly are finally, and making literally a peaceful, serene planet to live on, or otherwise we jam it again. In which case, anyway, at the end of it, I truly think, and so what? Like a video game we've done before, everything gets erased and we start again somewhere else. That's how I feel. That's literally just my opinion. Evelyn said, we are all talk. We're all talk and no action. We're not with each other. Good one. Mariela, thanks, Luca. Your approval makes me happy. In reference to your comments, when we get together, we always talk about sex. I see. Yes. I understood. Thank you. Wendy says, what? Yes, once you let it out and allow mistakes, no matter how scary, do it. It gets you to your authenticity. I stopped smoking, but still dream about it. Hey, I can at least enjoy it in a dream. Great one. Oh, fantastic. I can just see you, Wendy, going, falling asleep, and I'll be asking you, where are you going? And you'll be like, oh, I'm just going for a fag. Great one. Great one. Hello, Simonetta. Thank you. Mariana says, and more you tell them not to smoke, more they will smoke an innumerable quantity of cigarettes. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Prohibitionism, it's the biggest incentive ever. You know, when there was a time when there were, I think it was a campaign, I don't know where in the States, it was like no drugs or whatever, say no to drugs. Oh, but the amount of people taking drugs was shooting up. And it's really funny when it's statistically proven that when they started to put these horrible pictures on the cigarette pack, and when they started putting on the writing smoking kills and so on and so forth, again, it was almost as a big advertising for smoking. People were smoking even more. So that proved that fear and prohibitionism, it's not productive. It's actually always counterproductive, which is just a big paradox, but that's the way it is. My father did it. Your father used to say that don't smoke, don't do it. Yeah, or used to smoke more. If you told them not to smoke. Yeah, because, you know, I think, hey, hello, Paul, how are you? I really think that there's a part of us, well, the spiritual part of us, I think it's based on freedom, literally. And I call it the healthy rebel in us. It doesn't want to be told what to do. It just wants to experience. And I'll tell you another little secret again, which I know it might sound madness, but from a purely spiritual point of view, and when I say spiritual, I don't mean moral. Absolutely. My view of spirituality, it's not moral. I think morality, it's mind created. It's restrictive. Okay, it's based on judgment. It's based on good and bad, right and wrong. So when I talk about pure consciousness and spirituality, I literally mean talking about the raw energy of it all. And I truly believe that in that perspective, anything, and I mean anything and everything goes, meaning it's just an experience. Okay, we get into the material world, and to truly know who we truly are, which is pure magnificence or whatever, we have to, and choosing, because we know who we truly are, when we know that we can choose, but we can, and that's true awareness to me, but we know that we can choose when we have known it all, meaning I have to have been it all. So I have to know what it means to be sexual, honest, dishonest, violent, gentle. Do I make sense? So once I experienced everything, the highs and the lows, and even the biggest tragedy that I can think of, then and only then I know the divinity of who I am, because I have unleashed my power in every way, in every realm. Do I make any sense? So this is to say, to go back to the good experience or the bad experience, or if you do it full-heartedly. The soul that knows who truly is, knows that nothing is terrible. Nothing is terrible. Only what we say of it. This concept to me gives me goosebumps if I truly embrace it, because I think this is the ultimate power we have. Because this gets us to a place where we transcend the mind, we transcend judgment. It's literally just about, what is it that I choose to live now? I choose to experience. And if somebody like Mariella's father says, shut up, I want to smoke, let him smoke. Yes, Wendy, thank you for reminding us. Nothing is terrible. That is it. Yes, nothing is terrible. Nothing. Only thinking makes it so. Is it Shakespeare that said that, or somebody? I think it was Shakespeare. It's only our thinking that makes things terrible. Wow. Guys, it's 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wendy. I love you so much. Thank you, Evelyn. I love you too. Mariella, all of you. I wish you a great evening, and I'm going to see you next Thursday at 5 p.m. Ciao, big kiss.